doing? This is Lene with the Lene Gray Show here on KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, Kansas City's first global community radio station. Huh? Oh, okay. Yeah, it is kind of dark in here. Kind of reminds me of the old days. There we go. I'm lighting up now, y'all. There we go. There we go. Um, and Kansas City's first global community radio station. You're most likely listening to me on KUAW-LPFM 985 here on Facebook. But you can also listen by typing in the letters KUAW to Instagram, YouTube, TuneIn, and Periscope. There we go. I got it. But you also, we also have a Twitter page as well. So, but you can't go. We don't do the live from Twitter. Oh, we do the live from Twitter. Oh, what we moving on up, y'all? Come on. Okay, so we hey, and if you want to contact the station, a lot of people have contacted me about getting a show or just simply asking questions. You email us at kuaw985@gmail.com. Our telephone number. I love callers. Hello. I love callers. 816-599-6893. Our webpage for those who do not have social media or those who just simply don't do social media a lot. You can watch our programming on the webpage, kuaw.org. Now, I will announce that we are doing an ongoing station fundraiser for station upgrades. As you see, we now have the technology to be able to live stream everywhere. So, we wouldn't have that technology if it were not for the funds. And Mr. Walker said you can do a reoccurring $2 a month on PayPal. Just go to kuaw.org, click the donate tab, and then just put in your little $2 and send you $2 a month. And it ain't little because every bit adds up. Okay, so today, so I was going to do my sexual health and sexual responsibility show. I hadn't done that since 2018. Missed it last year. But I decided to hold off because I looked at 2018 and I did a whole lot of disclaimer. And so I don't want someone to be possibly watching with their child and they have not had this discussion with their child yet. And then they got a whole bunch of questions to answer. Been a mom of 6 kids. Had to deal with sons asking questions. My favorite answer was go ask your dad. But when they told me what he said, I had to have the talk anyway. So I don't want to, make it uncomfortable for anyone. So we will be doing that later. But I do have some good subject matter for you all today. So stay tuned. One of the things I want to say, happy birthday to Raymond King Lucas. Ray, happy birthday. I wish you an amazing year. And I wish you a year of prosperity, wealth, and affluence. He's an amazing dad. He's an amazing person. If you've never heard him do his poetry, you will be blown away as soon as you hear it. So, happy birthday, Ray. Have a beautiful day. Now, what I'm going to do is, because y'all know I done got fancy, I done bought in my little school laptop so that I can see what's going on my page. I'm going to go down since I said happy birthday to Ray. I just remember Ray's birthday because when he told me, I was like, oh, that's close to my daughter. And he told me this in 2015. Oh, yeah. Happy birthday to my baby girl. Her birthday is coming up on June 30th. And I am so excited. Hi, Miss Walker. Her birthday is coming up on June 30th. And I am so excited because she about to be a little bit grown. Now she's all the way grown and I love it. Minnie Moreau, Nico. Happy birthday, Nico. Nico Baker, Velda Robbins. Happy birthday, Vonzell Collins. Cloud James, Mila Queen. Happy birthday, Leslie Summers. Oh, happy birthday, Leslie. Robert McNary, Herb Cates. And Raymond, you got like more than one page. So I'm going to just call you out once. But I want to say happy birthday to everyone who I just called off. Have a wonderful, wonderful birthday. Hopefully you all, get to have fun. I mean, you get to enjoy. I know this sucks. I know this whole not being able to celebrate is really, I know it drives y'all crazy. I'm pretty sure it does. But hey, enjoy it anyway. Figure out a way to enjoy it. So here's the thing. I have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about today, which is funny. The first thing, okay, so I got a call this morning. It seemed like everybody want to call me this morning. I was sleeping good. I was getting some good sleep too. But I got a call this morning, and the woman who called me was like, okay, so this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what they call LDR relationships, long distance relationships, or like uh intercontinental or whatever you want to call it, where you're distant from your spouse and you really don't know this person's like the way they do things, where they're from in their country. You really don't know these things. So um I got a call from someone this morning, and in 2018, when everyone found out that I was engaged to a Ghanaian man, 2019, everybody was like, oh, I'm gonna go to Africa and give me a man. And I kept saying, oh, wait, because men are men on any continent, y'all. Men are men on any continent, and just because they're an African man, not saying they're a bad man, but they're still men. They're men on any continent. They just speak a different language and grew up somewhere different. It's different. I mean, it's nothing different. Well, I got a call, and she wanted me to give her advice because she found out that the man that she married was actually already married in Ghana and has a wife and children, and they both decided that he would find an American wife, and because she wanted a co-wife, and so they decided that he would find an American wife as a co-wife. And so she was tricked, basically. And I wouldn't say tricked, because I always tell people to pay close attention, to dig deep, to not just believe everything that comes out. I'm a skeptic. I'm just a skeptic. But this woman is now feels like she's stuck in a situation where she's his co-wife, but then not long after being married, she got pregnant. So now she doesn't, and I mean, she's upset and mad and angry and wanting to fight and all of that good stuff. But the crazy part is, when you're that angry, you ain't gonna do nothing about it. When you silent, that's when you're gonna do something about it. But she called me and asked me. I said, I don't know. I'm not in that situation, but I did tell her to pray and meditate about it and to do what she's told to do from there. Now, I couldn't tell her what I would do because I would be in Ghana jail. My temper ain't that together yet, y'all. They would be fighting every night, every single night. It would be a fight. They would eventually just either have me thrown in prison permanently or just put me out the house. That we would fight every night. That would be my thing. You're not gonna trick me. That's just me. That has got to be extremely painful to go through. But I asked her, what is it like, and she said that the first wife like caters to her, knowing that she's pregnant, she cooks for her, washes her clothes, takes good care of her. But that's just not a situation that she wanted to be in. So I will say this to anyone who's looking to get not just into a long distance relationship, but a relationship where you don't know the person's heritage and culture. Be very careful. Don't just jump into things. Ask plenty of questions. Know them. Get to know their family. It's really important. For it's just like marrying somebody here, and you wind up marrying somebody who, come to find out, was an axe murderer, bank robber, and then killed 3-4 police officers in some kind of way, got out of jail. You want to know about a person. You don't want to just, and I think that's our thing here, is everybody's in the microwave. Everybody wants fast and in a hurry. No one wants to take the time to get to know one another. And then you look up and you're in a situation that you did not want to be in. So that's just my advice to anybody who's interested, not just long distance relationships, not just relationships with people who are from another country, but if you're trying to be in a relationship with anybody nowadays, you need to know who they are. And that's the truth. That being said, we're going to leave that alone. That was just one of those things that just kind of like threw me for a loop early this morning. Another thing I want to say is, there's a video. Now this is the serious side, because I'm getting ready to educate you all on some things. So you tell people to tune in and tell people to listen, and listen closely. I am repeatedly getting inboxed and tagged on not just Instagram, but I got sent it on WhatsApp, sent this video on WhatsApp, and I've gotten it sent to me on Facebook for about 3 or 4 times. The video proving that the whole George Floyd incident was fake. That's what they're saying. They can prove that it's fake. To me, showing me still pictures does not mean that it's fake. It just, you got your computer and you're recording on your computer still pictures. No, do an actual documentary and slow down all videos, showing still. And one of those pictures that they said was George Floyd, it looked like Stacks. I see why Stacks said he and Floyd were twins, because that picture where they were talking about George Floyd was standing there at his own funeral with the hood and the mask. They was like, he was there, that was him. It looked like Stacks, y'all. And it don't even look like he was at the funeral. It looks like Stacks. But, hey, to each his own. But what I'm going to say is this. People are now adding conspiracy theory to it. I don't care. Believe what you want to believe. They're like, oh, they're trying to start a race war. Number one, it will be a race slaughter. Let's get that. Nobody's going to like what I'm saying. But how many black people know how to hunt? How many black people have an arsenal of weapons in their home? How many black people have trained their children from the time that they're old enough to carry, break down, clean, and put a gun back together with a blindfold and weigh the bullets? We're not the Grace tribe. Derek Grace has trained his children how to do that. We are not. My mom trained us how to do that, but I ain't trained my kids how to do that because I can't be trusted with a weapon. So I couldn't keep a weapon in my house. I'm just telling y'all the truth. But we are taking things a little bit too far. They're like, oh, they're trying to spark a race war. Hey, cousin. And if you want to comment, please go over to the page because I might not see your comments. But they're like, oh, they're trying to spark a race war with us and get the whites and the blacks into it. Would be a race slaughter, y'all. Tell the truth. It would be a slaughter, because every single white person I know, and I've been a truck driver for 19 and a half years, local. I'm a woman. I'm always the first one fired. I'm always the last one hired and the first one fired. I know thousands of white men. Every last single one of them have guns. Every last single one of them have trained their children. Every last single one of them have, what do you call those? The archery things, the bow and arrows. Their children are trained to be able to defend themselves, their home, their parents, all of that with a weapon. They might not be too much on hand-to-hand combat, but they're trained to defend themselves with a weapon. So my thing is, we're going to stop the whole lie about the race war thing. We're going to stop that. Let's just put a stop to that right now. That's a lie. No one's trying to spark a race war because they would already know who's going to win. What you coming after them with? Knives and shanks and a razor blade and a shank ain't gonna stop a bullet. And those of us in the community who do have assault weapons and assault rifles and this, that, and the other, they too scared to shoot at anything white. They'll shoot something black first. They are too cowardly to shoot something white. So we can't even rely on them for real. But the thing about the video is, and this is what I tell people, believe what you want to believe. Someone started bringing in like the Freemasonry, and I'm just going to say this. I can't say too much. They were like, oh, he was a 33rd degree Mason, and they talked about the tattoo on his chest that said, out of chaos, order. That is not saying start a fight and control the people. Out of chaos, order, or out of chaos comes order means what I teach about spirituality. Chaos is chaotic thoughts and emotions. And in order to get that stuff together, you got to line up your kundalini, unwrap that kundalini, and you'll be in order. That's all it is, y'all. Stop letting these people who don't know nothing convince you of something. 33rd degree Masons, one thing I have known from learning about them, I've been blessed to know one. They don't promote fear. They promote knowing who you are. They promote knowing that you cannot be controlled by anyone because you are in control of your spirit, mind, body, and emotions. So when you see these videos out here that invoke fear in you, you have to question the reason why that video was made. And when they begin to start pulling in the fear of masonry, you have to question the reason why that video was made, because they're not trying to control anybody. They actually want you in control of yourself. So now that we've got that established, now that y'all know that, when y'all see, I want everybody to keep this in mind. When people wanted Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, the Black Panthers, anybody, Stokely Carmichael, when they wanted those people out of the way, what did they do? They sent black people to infiltrate the movement. So this is where I want everyone to think rationally. Regardless, and like I put on there, I know I'm not going to convince people that his death was real. I'm not going to convince anyone of it, so I'm not trying to convince you. But even if it was fake, let's play devil's advocate. Even if it was fake, what has come out of it? I know for a fact that they are once again looking at the Ryan Stokes murder from police officers here in Kansas City, where they lied and said Ryan Stokes had a gun, and the officer came out and said no he didn't, and he was reprimanded and kicked off the force for not lying with the rest of them. So now his mother, after crying in the wilderness for years and not being able to get anyone to listen to her about her son being murdered by the police, the police officer who stood there and saw the entire incident said no, he did not have a gun, and he was kicked off the force and basically blackballed from police, and he's a black man. These people are getting retribution now, because regardless of if you want to share the video or not about this stuff, quote unquote, being fake, we now have to where people who were not getting any exposure and they were murdered by police officers, they're now looking at their cases. We couldn't get anyone to take anything the cops did. I'm gonna stop saying police officers and say cops, because police officers are the ones who do their job, and they're the good people, and those are the people who are like, hey, I'm just trying to do my job, don't make me chase you, don't make me tase you, because I will. But and they talk to you, and they try to, y'all, you can tell I've been in cuffs enough. They try to talk some sense into you when you're acting a fool, or when you won't calm down, or they said, they be like, look, don't make my job hard, don't make me add more charges to you. I know you upset, just calm down. I got you in cuffs because I know you're going to run back over there and start swinging, and that's more charges. Trust me, I know. I've dealt with police officers, but then I've dealt with cops. I've dealt with cops who refused to call a lady cop, and he literally molested me while his other cop turned his back and went and got in a squad car and pretended to be looking at something. So, and when you make a complaint against these people, the first thing that the Office of Citizens Complaint that you make your complaint with, the first thing they do is pull up your record. Oh, well, it shows where you were arrested on this point. It shows you had police contact. Do you care? I'm not on trial here. I'm trying to tell you what this person is doing, and you're not listening. There's a cop in Kansas City right now that when I posted my story on Instagram, a girl inboxed me. There's a cop in Kansas City who's running around raping women. And she gave me his name, and I told her, I don't want any parts of this. I'm going to give you the elected officials that you need to talk to. He's not just raped her, he's raped several people. She now feels comfortable to be able to tell someone that he did this to her. Good thing that child wasn't a minor, because I would have had to report it, and it would have drugged me in it. But she's 25 or 26. But what I'm saying is, now the light is being shed. Now Denver has made laws that say, oh, you can't do this, you're responsible for this. My thing, and this is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to keep repeating it. Stop saying defund the police. Start saying permanently revoke their police certification. We want them to be the way they've backed the police, FOB, Fraternal Order of Police, the way they've done laws for felons. There are certain states where felons never get their rights back. That's what we want for crooked cops, for cops who are killing people, for cops who let their canine dog shred a man's testicles. Look up the Mississippi story. And then they turn around and shot him in the chest 5 times after they stomped his teeth out of his mouth in 2017 in Mississippi. I forgot his name. We want them to be held accountable. And then it took them over an hour to call for help to get him medical attention. See, regardless of whether you all think that George Floyd's death is real, this has put on the forefront. And while everyone's spreading this video, regardless, this is saving Black lives. They've already proven that the people doing all the burning and stuff ain't Black. They've proven that. Destroying property and burning, those aren't the Black people. They showed a man paying young Black men to go destroy property, and the woman went off. It's on camera, him handing them money and telling them what to go do. A white man. You take poor people and tell them to go do something, and they're poor in mind and spirit and finances, they're going to do whatever. You hand them a couple of bucks. That's anybody. So that's what I want everyone to understand. Don't fall for that narrative. And another thing is, that stuff, a lot of y'all are sharing that, and y'all don't realize that that stuff is white supremacist propaganda. It's white supremacist propaganda, and you're falling right for it. Why? Because you don't have your own mind. Because something in someone else controls your mind. And that's the truth. When you have your own mind, you're able to make up your own mind. And like I said once before, whether it's real or not, I'm looking at what's happening from all of the protests. I'm looking at what is coming about. Everyone who's sharing this video, I've not heard of anyone who shared the video about this stuff supposed to be fake. I've not heard of anyone making any proposals on their state level, getting with your state officials and saying, this is what needs to be done. This is what I want to see happen. But everyone is sharing the video. See, that's the thing about us as Black people. We are so complacent with our abuse that we want to go back to it. Remember, and I taught this once before on my show, that the brain sabotages success. The brain is used to doing things in a certain manner. And when things begin to change, this is where you have to be mindful of yourself. When things begin to change, your brain will do everything it can to stop you. That's why many of us are not successful in our weight loss, because we're used to doing things a certain way. It is proven scientifically that brain sabotages success. I will say this, when you watch these videos, if you get a sense of fear, just know whenever you feel fear, that is them controlling you. If you don't feel fear, if you're just watching it and you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, okay, makes sense. But if you don't feel fear, but they leave you with a sense of this is what needs to be done. See, here's my thing. My mama's big brother was a Panther, and like I told y'all, he lost his right to practice in the United States and all the allied countries. He lost his right to do that. When they went after the Panthers or whatever. Hi, Mother Mary. Here's the thing. My mother always taught me, which was the Panther motto, if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. And I'm going to say this to everyone who's sharing this video, but you have not shared a petition to petition the state representatives to change the laws. You've not shared who our Black prosecutors are who are running for office. You've not shared who our Black chiefs and sheriffs are. And that's another thing. Let's get down to, we're talking about police officers. We need to talk about the fire department, because the fire department is as racist as it comes. And we need to start making sure that everyone who is responsible for our health, well-being, health, and safety is addressed. Because Kansas City Fire Department is as racist as it comes. I witnessed them in action just completely disrespect our area and our neighborhood because they could. And a woman's house caught on fire. And they tried to lie to her and tell her it was arson. They wrote it down as arson, and it was clearly an electrical fire. You could see it. I've had an electrical fire. I know what it looks like. So I'm just wanting us as a people to stop sharing fear. Y'all, I got control of this. I control mine. But y'all have an issue with your own mind control. And it's like you'll go wherever the wind blows, except for the place that is best for you. Everyone talks about Black Wall Street. And they're like, oh, we need to reestablish Black Wall Street. We need to get Black Wall Street back together. People can't control their mind long enough to get Black Wall Street back to running. And everybody's like, oh, if we do, they're going to tear it down. No, they're not. No, they're not. Because if they come tear something down this time, you got insurance. So you're going to build it bigger and better. I want somebody to come burn some stuff down. Because you're not allowed to have a business anywhere in the state or in your state, and you don't have insurance on that business. Certain businesses, if you have a transportation business that's regulated through the federal government, your insurance has to be done, or else you don't even get your DOT and MC numbers. You just don't. So that's what I'm saying is, at some point in time, we as Black people need to stop blowing with the wind. We need to learn to slow these cycles of our brains down. Stop allowing people to throw a ripple in our river. When we calm that stuff down, meditate, get it together, balance your emotions. This whole entire situation, you can create an emotional reaction. And what I say is, and I will say this again, leave them babies alone. If they want to be out there protesting, if they want to get in, if you look at all the civil rights movements, it was young people. Remember, Martin Luther King was murdered in his 30s. I'm his elder now, if you look at Earth years. So what we're not going to do is tell them what they can and cannot do. Because a riot is the voice of the oppressed. So them doing what they're doing is making waves. Look, Roger Goodell came out because of the young people in the NFL, and to see our very own quarterback in the video, Super Bowl winning quarterback in the video, and said he was Tamir Rice, it made the hair stand up on the back of my neck because he was the youngest looking one in the video. And I know it affected Roger Goodell greatly to see. It probably wouldn't have bothered Roger Goodell with everybody else. But when you put the golden boy in there and he's saying Black Lives Matter, and I could be that boy who got killed because he was playing cops and robbers with a cap gun, that woke him up. Now he's admitting that Black Lives Matter. After fighting with Colin Kaepernick to the point of blackballing this man out the NFL. See, when you get control of your own mind, you're able to sit back and watch and see what's going on. You're able to pay close attention, and you're able to analyze. You're able to stop moving from place to place. You're able to stop being drugged from place to place. This is where they have Black people as a group. This is where they done pulled our card, because they know we don't slow our minds down. They know we have no control. They know that we can sit back and analyze a room, and we can feel in our spirit when something's getting ready to go wrong. But all they got to do is dangle a carrot in front of us or let a squirrel cross a tree, and we'll be like, oh, squirrel. See, the reason why they're passing this video around, because the protests haven't stopped. Normally by now we're on to the next one, but it hasn't happened. And now they're trying to find a way. Remember, SNCC, Martin Luther King SCLC, uh, uh, Malcolm X, the Black Panthers, they were all infiltrated by what? Black people. They were not infiltrated by white people. They knew white people couldn't get close to them. So how were they able to get in and murder those leaders? Black people. So I need you all to make rational thought and decision. If you want to say something, call in 816-599-6893. But I need you all to think rationally. Slow that brain down and be able to take it all in. Be able to receive and hear what's truly you. And my daughter said something which is awesome. She had a situation and she said, Mom, I kept feeling something wasn't right. And I'm so proud of my baby. And she's like, I kept feeling something wasn't right. And so I went outside and I sat outside and I meditated in the sun. And she said, I just meditated. And I'm so proud of her because before I couldn't get her to meditate, but she did. And she told me when the incident happened, normally it would have gotten a reaction out of her. But she said, I was so peaceful. She said, all of this stuff was going on and I'm just sitting here so peaceful. She said, I had total peace. And like I told her before I found out she had meditated, I was like, that's not a good feeling because when mama's like that, that means I'm about to kill somebody. And then when she said meditate, I said, oh, okay, yeah, that's what happens when you meditate. You don't give into the emotion of the thing. So now it's time for us. I don't care what you do. Everybody says, Lene, how do you meditate? Number one, you don't play anything. You're not to play any noise when you meditate. It's called silent mind meditation for a reason. I tell people prayer is talking. Meditation is listening. Prayer is sending out your petitions. Meditation is listening for the answer. So all you have to do is close your eyes. Close your eyes wherever you are. If you ain't got to do it now, I'm just giving y'all how to do it. And then you roll your eyes up, not till they hurt, just gently, because you can't meditate if your eyes hurt. And then you block out all thought and just focus on your breathing and just listen. That's all you're there for. I like to meditate before I go to bed because I like to give my meditative mind control over my sleep. And then I meditate as soon as I wake up because I know me. But that's because I know me. Everyone doesn't need that. But I have a fiery side that needs to be under control at all points and times. So, but me being in that mindset, I'm able to see the for lack of a better word, the BS that is being thrown at us, that we are listening to. Think about it. Was Ryan Stokes' murder fake? Is his mother begging for justice for all of these years? Is that fake? Was it fake when Philando Castile was murdered with his little girl in his back seat? Was that fake? Was it fake when the man who was looking after the autistic little boy laid on the ground, body stretched out and arms stretched up in the air as high as they could reach, was still shot by the cops? And when asked the cop, why did he do it? The cop said, I don't know why I shot him. He was on the ground with his arms in the air. Was that fake? It wasn't fake, but here's the thing about it. All of those cops got away with it. Every last single one of them. Sandra Bland's cop got away with it. You look at all of these cops, and the only one that's prosecuted is the black cop that killed the white woman who had called for help, and she was running up to their car. And he felt his partner's life was in danger. And they said in the courtroom, what about a blonde-haired white woman screams danger to you? We have to wake up, y'all. We have to wake up. And it's not about Let the people who have, like when I was younger, I probably would have been one of the protesters out there, all up in the cop's face, daring them to say something, daring. I would have been in jail. I would have been. But that was me. That was that fiery thing. I don't test that side of me anymore. Everybody's like, Lene, you're gonna go protest yet? No, because I didn't had enough dealings with the cops. I'm good. I'm good. They good on me. I'm good on them. They used to look at me and be like, I don't want no gray. Let everybody have some fun up in here. Okay, as long as they cool, I'm cool. So that's what I'm saying is, don't judge people based on what they do. What are you doing? If you're not out protesting, have you written your legislators? Have you written your U.S. government legislators? Have you written your state legislators? Have you written your local legislators? Do you know who's running for office? Do you know who's running for prosecutor? Do you know who's running for sheriff, fire department, police department? Do you know who's running for judge? Because we forget that the judges are the ones who make the final decisions and hand out the years. While we're sharing the video, what are we doing? What are we doing? So I'm going to give, I just realized I went over. We will be back home. We have a 2-minute commercial break. Everybody stay tuned. This is the Lene Gray Show on KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, Kansas City's first global community radio station. See you in 2 minutes. Stay tuned. And we're back. Thank you for sticking with the Lene Gray Show here on KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. And if you didn't hear, you can catch me every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on KUAW 985 at Gmail, KUAW-LPFM 985 on Facebook, and by typing in the letters KUAW on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TuneIn, and Periscope. Like I said, we were discussing the, it seems like to me like the brainwashing. It breaks my heart that we as a people can be sidetracked so easy. Now, my mom used to always be like, hey, if you're not going, oh, we have B. Michael Long watching. When does his show come on? Shifting Paradigms. First and third Monday. Y'all need to watch that. Y'all need to watch his show. Something's going wrong with my Facebook on my phone, so I don't even normally get on it on my laptop. But Shifting Paradigms, first and third Mondays at what time? 6 o'clock. Y'all watch that show. It's really going to help. It's really going to help, like he said, shift your paradigm. And so I'm asking everyone to please tune into that, as well as I keep wanting to call him congressman, councilman. He's going to be a congressman, y'all, because I keep wanting to say congressman. Councilman Ellington is the every third Sunday. When's his? First and third Sunday at 3 o'clock p.m. What's Real Talk with Councilman Brandon Ellington. And he was our state representative as well. So he's very well versed in state politics as well as local politics for Kansas City. And he's a real representative. He's not someone who's been paid to be in office. Something got in my eye. Certain people made sure that they got him where they wanted him so they can get that TIF money. Let's just say that. If you have any questions or comments, please post your questions or comments. I would like for people to shout out where you're from. Last week, we had people shouting out where they were from, which was awesome because we had Brooklyn and where was it? Nebraska and Brooklyn and places like that. So, yeah. Shout out where you're from. Now, just got a message. People be knowing I'm on air and they still message me anyway. This has been since 2018. Oh my goodness. I used to answer the phone on air. Y'all find a couple of my old shows. Y'all will see me answer the phone. Anyway, so now that we've addressed that, the one thing I wanted to address is they were talking about how the violence in Kansas City. And this is where the reason why I brought up B. Michael Long's show, Shifting Paradigms, is because the paradigm of the people, the paradigm is simply what you have been raised to believe, whether it was taught to you verbally or whether you witnessed it with your own eyes. It is what was instilled to you, learned behaviors. That's what your paradigm is. It is your learned behaviors. One thing a lot of people don't realize is that as adults, we're really, unless you've learned to shift your own paradigm, you're living the life of your parents. You're not living your own life. You're living what you were told to live, what you observed living. And so unless what you're living is called your praxis. Your paradigm and your praxis. Your paradigm is what you're taught. Your praxis is what you do, your output, your actions, your daily experience. That is your praxis. So what's happening is when they talk about murders, and let's just not talk about murders in Kansas City, because one thing everyone wants to bring up is black on black crime when we're discussing police crime. You have to first address the paradigm that created the situation for a person to be so angry that they would murder someone else. Now, I can say from experience, I don't got no bodies on me, all praises. It is the feeling of neglect. You can have people in your life, but if your parental base, my dad was amazing, but he and my mom, they divorced when I was 9. And so I was left with a biological daddy and a biological mother, and neither one of them liked me really well. So I ain't gonna say I wasn't difficult. I probably was, because I knew they didn't like me. But it created this thing in me where it doesn't matter who came around, who tried to tell me how amazing I was, who tried to tell me how amazing my future was. I still viewed myself from the eyes or the actions of my biological parents. And so you have this thing, and I tell people I was a very hard young woman, very hard. You have this thing where if don't nobody care about me, I don't care about nobody else. And that's the truth. And so now we're seeing this on a huge scale because the young people, you have moms who regret their children because the man didn't stay with them. Or you have moms who were so depressed that they were just not there. They were physically there, but they were not there for their children. And so the children were more always taking care of their mom, or, things, you go to school and you get bullied and you go home and tell your mom and she seems like she don't care, but she's battling her own mind. And so that creates this person, this being, and the softness of a person is locked up behind this monster, because this monster is not going to be disrespected because it's already been disrespected too much. That is where we need to begin to address. This is where it takes a village comes in handy, because you can't have a young person in their home and not feeling loved, not feeling wanted, not feeling welcome in their home. And then you send them to school and the teachers are loving them, but that's just one. It takes an entire community. Like I hate it. I yell loudest for my children. But when I'm at a graduation and a kid is getting ready to walk the stage and nobody's yelling for them, well, you gonna hear my big mouth, because that means that they didn't have a village around them, surrounding them to take care of them. And the people who are in their village must not encourage. I tell people, my kids hear my mouth. So if I'm going to yell at you at home, I'm going to be the loudest person cheering you on in public. That's just me. You're going to know I was there. You're going to know, even if you don't see me, they're going to be like, yep, there go their mama. She'll knock you over with that voice. Because even if we are at home and I'm just like, keep playing with me and I'm going to show you the old me. But when we get in public, first off, my kid ain't did nothing. That's just me as a mama. First off, I'm going to check you, but then I'm going to get them when they get home. But my kid ain't did nothing, so don't come tell me what they did. Because if my kid did something, that means you caused them to do it. That's just how I am as a mom. I always want them to feel, because I didn't have that. And so I always want them to feel protected and supported. That's number one. Now, don't make me like a fool, because then I'm going to check you in front of everybody. But it is for us as a community. And that's the reason why I go out of my way. I have so many children who are not mine. Their moms, they are my bonus babies. And I've been blessed to have bonus babies with excellent moms. But I've been blessed to have bonus babies who did not have that. And so that is my thing, is creating that village, creating that mom, that parent, that bond with a child that says, you can come to me about anything. Some of my kids come to me about stuff like they're my I birthed them, and I'll be like, oh God, I really didn't want to hear this, but let's go. Because they're like, Mom, okay, I just need you to listen. Okay, I'm gonna listen. I didn't want to hear all this detail, but I'm gonna go ahead and listen. But that is where you heal the community. If you look at the communities with the high murder rates, they lack schools, they lack neighborhood schools, they lack anything that gives a kid a fun time. You look at their schools that are minority schools, they lack programs, they lack advanced. It is, to heal a community, you have to build a great school. I said this when I was running for school board, and I don't know why somebody talked me into doing that, but hey. But in order to build a great community, everyone's talking about, oh, we need to rebuild Black Wall Street. We need to do this. You got to get your schools right first, because that's what draws the people in to the neighborhoods. That's what creates the environment for success. So even if you don't have the funds to put the program in the school, create networks with different organizations that have already done it. Bring them in and the kids can do it. And some of the kids are like I was, you go home and it's just you there. So if I had a program that I could have stayed till 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, I would have done it. My mom wouldn't have let me, but I'd have figured out a way to accomplish it. I'd have made sure it was something academic that impressed her. That's all I had to do. So when we talk about healing our community, we first have to start with shifting our paradigm, which is changing the way the community has raised its children. I'm not talking about you and yours. I'm not on this, oh, it's me and mine's. I'm not, y'all, I can brag beyond brag. I got an Ivy League. Not only do I have an Ivy League graduate, she graduated #1 out of Columbia University master's program. #1. She's sitting up there with the provost and all of them. And they coming to me telling me how awesome my ratchetdemic daughter is, because that's the phrase that they coined at their graduation, telling them you don't have to change who you are. You're academic now. Just be ratchetdemic. And so, but I do not look my nose down anyone. I have a son who served our country for 6 years and lived in South Korea. I have another son who just woke up every morning on the golf course vocalizing. I have another son who scored a 32 on his ACT, jumped 6 points. That's something, he was the only student in Eastern Kansas and Western Missouri to do that in 2019. So I'm not saying, and Sebastian took the ACT with coronavirus and got a 28. I'm not saying me and mine, because if we want to do that, we can do that. Desmond, He's the Professor Mason, the #1 beast of the beats for I Standard Beat. You get what I'm saying? George Fuller. These, if we want to do me and mine, I can do that. But I don't want to do that. I want it to be us and our. I want those children that were like me, that had my uncle who was like, okay, I know you're going down the wrong path, but come on with me. We're going to go to church every single day. Thank you, Uncle Red. I'm being sarcastic. But I mean, that was all he knew to do with me. He was a deacon of the church, and y'all know deacons are in the church every single day. And the kids in school thought I lived in church until they saw my real house one day. They were like, we thought you lived in church. No, I just catch the school bus after school to the church. This is how it didn't stop me, but what it did was it made it to where I didn't go off the deep end like I should have. And so imagine if I had people just completely surrounding me on every angle. I probably would have been an astronaut. That's what I wanted to do. I was smart enough to do it. But we have to remember, stop pointing the finger and saying those kids, these people, they're ruining our community. What have you done to give them the opportunities, the same ones that you are given? And I'm not talking about hand picking children because, oh, they're a good kid, let me get them. Because you're looking over some of the best and the brightest when you do that. So what I want to say is, how do we heal our communities? Number one, and I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. We start with our elections. I'm going to keep saying this. We showed out and showed up for Obama. We start with our elections. We overwhelmingly, there's no possible way that a town that's 80% black should have all white people running the town. But it happens all over the U.S. They shouldn't have no white people. It should be all black people running the town. It's 80% black. We have to then learn all of our statutes, our ordinances, our laws. Learn them down to the subsection. Learn the police interaction, laws, statutes, and ordinances down to the subsection, and be able to quote it to the police officer. Be able to quote it. Don't just say, I know my rights. Be able to quote it. Number 3, right to bear arms. Everybody go get your NRA card. And with your NRA card, get you a couple of assault rifles and 40 cal. I love them 40 cals. I love them. Get you some stuff to be able to defend yourself. There's nothing wrong with it. Because people are not going to respect your peaceful stance when they're coming to hurt you. But the last thing, we have to restore our communities. The reason why our black businesses cannot get off the ground the way we want them to is because we're not honoring children. We have our focus. We want to be the biggest and the brightest. Who's going to carry it on? Should something happen to you, is your business going to close? Have you trained someone to run your business? Do you have a team? Are you able to step out and just let your business autonomously run itself, and you go on vacation like all the other corporations? We have to rebuild our schools. We have to bring back in a community to where all of the elders know all of the kids in the community. And all of the kids know who to go talk to and whose house to avoid. We have to begin to rebuild. We have to shift our paradigm. It's no more me and mines, or me and mines. I hate that saying, but people say it. We have to begin. I want to thank Mr. Walker and the Black Family Technology Awareness Program, W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. Get your kids up here because they're doing it. Right. Gray B. Nice said, black business owners, take business courses, take customer service courses, SCORE. The SBA offers SCORE, S.C.O.R.E. courses to develop your business. And they'll even offer you mentors that you can meet in person, talk on the phone, or email back and forth for your business. Do it. But nothing's going to change for us until our focus goes right back on our children. When we take the passion for our children that all the other races have for their children and all the other nationalities have for their children, then black people will see a change. This is the Lene Gray Show on KUAW knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, Kinsey's first global community radio station. I will see you all next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you for your time. Take care.